Hey everyone! So today we're going to do something a little different. We're going to dive into the world of AI, but we're going to use an unexpected guide, the absolutely fantastic Disney movie Big Hero 6. You'll see how this story is actually a really powerful way to start talking about artificial intelligence.
And that quote really gets to the heart of it, doesn't it? I mean, think about it. Long before most of us ever get our hands on complex AI, we've already built up all these ideas about it from movies, TV shows, and books. Stories are, in a lot of ways, our very first teachers.
So out of all the movies out there with robots and cool tech, why are we zooming in on Big Hero 6?
Well, it's because this film is just a perfect entry point. Seriously, it mixes up humor, a whole lot of heart, and some pretty advanced ideas in a way that just isn't scary or intimidating. It's this super inviting, family-friendly story that makes a huge topic like AI feel, well, approachable and even fun.
Okay, so let's get into the good stuff. How does artificial intelligence actually show up in the movie? Well, the film gives us two very different and pretty fascinating examples to look at.
First up, of course, is the one and only Baymax. He is designed for one specific purpose, to be a healthcare companion. He scans you, he figures out what's wrong, and he tries to treat it. This is a brilliant example of what we call narrow AI, or task-specific AI. That's a system built to do one job and do it really, really well, which is honestly where a ton of real-world AI is focused today.
And then, on the complete other end of the spectrum, you have the microbots. This is a massive swarm of tiny little robots that can build anything the user thinks of. Now, this is a much more fantastical take on the tech. While it looks incredible on screen, the whole idea of telepathically controlled matter, yeah, that's pure science fiction.
So, you've got these two totally different portrayals of AI in one movie. How do we make sense of it all? Well, it turns out we can use a simple framework to help us dig a little deeper into the story.
Just think of it like putting on a special pair of glasses. This lens helps us organize what we're seeing and helps us spot the really important themes about technology that the movie is showing us. And this framework gives us a kind of roadmap for our thinking. We're going to break it down into 4 key areas: AI literacy, AI ethics, AI fluency, and AI development. These are going to help us connect what we see on screen to some very real-world ideas.
All right, first up is AI literacy. This is really about the basics. It's asking the question, how does this thing actually work? You know, what's happening behind the scenes? What can it do and what can't it do? In the movie, this is all about understanding how Baymax was programmed versus how those microbots are controlled.
Next, AI ethics. And this is where we get into the really big questions of right and wrong. Remember when Hero tries to take out Baymax's healthcare chip just to turn him into a weapon? That is a classic ethical dilemma. It makes us think about things like safeguards and the risk that any technology can be used for harm.
Then there's AI fluency. This is all about the partnership between people and AI. How do they communicate? How do they work together? Hero learning to collaborate with Baymax and even arguing with him is a perfect example of this. It's about knowing when to trust the machine and when you need to step in with your own human judgment.
And finally, AI development. This one is so important because it reminds us that humans are behind every single piece of technology. Tadashi designed Baymax with a specific, caring purpose. The villain, on the other hand, repurposed Hero's microbots for revenge. These are both human design choices, and they have huge consequences. So now that we have our lens, let's use it to do something really important. Let's separate the real fantasy of the movie from the real parallels to our world. This is a key skill when you're thinking about AI in any kind of media.
And this slide really breaks it down for us, doesn't it? On one side, you have the real, the exaggerated stuff, the telepathically controlled microbots that build things instantly. Pure science fiction for now. But on the other side, the real, an AI like Baymax, designed for a specific role in healthcare, that is very much a real thing being worked on today. It shows how the movie grounds its fantasy in some really solid real-world ideas.
So, after looking at the tech and the story through our lens, what's the big takeaway here? What are we supposed to be focusing on? And this is the most crucial point. Big Hero 6 is not a story about scary robots taking over. It's a story about people. It shows us that AI, just like any tool, has an impact that comes down to the choices made by the humans who create it and the humans who use it.
And that brings us to the final, and maybe the most important question. This film is a fantastic conversation starter. For families, for classrooms, for anyone who's just curious about technology. It gives us a shared story we can use to talk about things like ethics, responsibility, and innovation. So I'll leave you with this. After watching, what conversations will you start?